want to win games on Sion? Do you want to feed on Sion? Well, I can certainly help you with at least one of those. This is a guide made by a scrub, meant for other scrubs to understand what this big screaming axe guy is all about. Sion's passive. Feeding makes you stronger. Whenever you die, you revive temporarily with a lot of attack speed, lifesteal and damage. You only have one ability, which is just a burst of movement speed. You start losing a lot of health until you actually die, but because of all the lifesteal, you can actually stay alive for a lot longer. This means if you start to attack minions instead of some guy that's 5 kilometers away, you'll actually stay alive way longer. There's a few benefits to this, namely 1, you just get a bunch of money, right? You kill minions. Number 2, your death timer actually goes down while you're in your passive. So the longer you stay alive, the less time you're actually dead. Sometimes you can even stay alive so long that you don't have a death timer at all. In a teamfight or skirmish, if you know you're gonna die, try to get behind the enemy. When you respawn as an undead thingy-majing, the enemy now has a choice. They either run into your team, which is a bad thing, or they run into you, which is a bad thing. Only use your movement speed ability if you have to chase someone. If you're on top of them, if you're attacking them, there's no need to use it. Wait for them to use their dashes, wait for them to use their flash before you actually use it. That means there's more chance of you actually killing them. You can also bait people on thinking you're peacefully farming minions and then suddenly turn them around with the force of a train and kill them. Sion's Q. Big axe, go boom. When you hold Q, Sion charges up in an area, increasing the range and damage and knockup of the area if you fully fill the circle. Charging more will continue to increase the damage and knockup. This is his bread, butter, and the knife he uses to put the bread on the butter. If you can, try to charge this as much as possible at any moment. The extra knockup time and damage will almost always be worth it. Wait until they almost leave the area to reactivate it. Unless they're like 1 HP, then just kill them ASAP. Use it in lane to poke enemies that are going for a farm or a trade and get some quick damage in while they're knocked up before running away like the frail maiden you are. If possible, try to use it when enemies have a hard time getting out. This could be because they're stunned by your ult, slowed by your E, a teammate is stunning them, there's nowhere for them to walk. Try to see if they have dashes, and if so, try to bait those out before using Q, or Q early to guarantee the damage while making them waste their dash. Use this ability as much as possible to surprise people. Enemies can't see your Q hitbox if they can't see you. Get in the bush, wait around the corner, hide under the bed. No, that's the wrong video. Bushes and corners are your best friend because this big hulking monstrosity is obviously a stealthy assassin at this point. Sion's W. I get health, you lose health, I also get more health. It has a passive and an active. Passively, you gain max health for murder. Kill a million, jungle monster or champion, and you are now permanently tankier than you were before. Just a bit of HP, you know? It doesn't actually transfer to the next game, so, you know, permanently. This means you want to put on a hat, put some hay in your mouth, and be ready to live the farming life. Farm as much as you possibly can. Anytime, any moment. See a minion, take a minion. See a champion, kill a champion. It's literally free real estate. Actively, Sion gets a shield, and after a few seconds he can reactivate the shield to explode it to do damage all around him. It's a really simple ability, but the hard part is getting as much value out of it as possible. The damage it does is not based on how much shield is left, which means tanking all of the damage till it's 1 health and then exploding it is the absolute maximum value you can get. So your goal is to make sure the enemy can never kill the shield before you can explode it. There's 2 ways to row around this. One is activate your W before you actually start fighting. This means that in the middle of the fight you can immediately use your W whenever you need it. So you can just wait until they do their damage and immediately reactivate it. The second option is to wait for all their burst damage to run out. Usually people do most of the damage in the beginning of the trade. If you wait for that and then activate your W, the enemy doesn't have enough damage to kill your W before you can reactivate it. If you're being sneaky and charging up a Q, make sure to activate your W early so you can reactivate it for the damage while the enemy is knocked up by you. Sion Z, Scream of the Little Kitty. You just gotta scream at some people, and somehow it's a physical form. If it hits an enemy, they get slowed and they lose some armor. If you scream at a minion or any normal jungle monster, it gets knocked back a lot, and everything it touches will also get slowed and will get their armor reduced. By itself, it doesn't do much, but it's a great setup for everything else Sion does. The slow makes it much harder to dodge anything Sion does, and because all of his damage is AD, it also increases all the damage he does. Sions are: run at people menacingly. Sion starts charging in a direction and will have very limited control over his movement when he is charging, so make sure to line up your road trip before you even press R. In general though, you want to use this in conjunction with his other abilities. It's very easy for enemies to dodge it. What you have to try is slow enemies with your E first and make sure they have no dashes to make it easier to hit them. You can also use Q for this. If they're knocked up, it's literally impossible for them to dodge out of your ultimate. It also works the other way around. If you land an ult on someone, it means it's very easy to land your Q on them because they're stunned. You can actually manually cancel your charge by pressing R again. This is very useful. Always press it just before you're about to hit an enemy, because if you hit the enemy, there's no downturns. You will still stun them for the same amount of time, you will still do the same damage, everything's fine. However, if they manage to dodge in any way, you'll still slow them and deal damage because you reactivated it early. All allies and enemies can hear it when you activate R. This means that all enemies will usually walk away, walk to the side whenever you ult. This also means that if you're behind them or if you're beside them and they don't know, they will unwittingly walk into you when you're ulting. This means that flanking is very important for Sion. Try to get behind them, try to ult them from there, they'll set your play up for you. These are the rune pages. You can change most things, just know that if you go tank Sion, make sure you get Grasp of the Undying. If you're full AD or lethality Sion, you can do whatever thing works on him. AD Sion is usually about his passive and how much damage it deals, so you usually go a keystone that helps with that. Glacial Augment will slow enemies when you auto attack them, which means it's easier to chase them in your passive. And Phase Burst makes you faster, which means it's also easier to chase after people. Some fun trivia tips. Sion's Q is slightly longer than the hitbox shows. Sion can use item actives in passive. Do with this power what you will. Watch thebausffs, because unlike me, he actually isn't a scrub and knows how to play a Sion, especially the AD build. Scoot on Twitch is a viable alternative. If you press R twice instantly, you won't instantly cancel a charge and your screen will still move a little bit. If you press RQ where your Q is off cooldown, you will cancel the charge earlier and your screen won't shake at all. And don't worry, your Q won't be used up at all for this. Your R will sometimes be able to bounce off of walls, which makes you feel like an absolute drifting god. I do not know how it works. You can use U.G for any champion to get all the meta runes, find all the meta items for any champion. Very useful. And for the final trivia, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if you feel like it, you know. Have a nice day.